Welcome to the podcast, Graham.
Let's do it, man. Thanks for having me.
Did you ever get sick of any?
I really like my own music. Like, I listen to myself a good bit. Like, just being honest. First big break was, my freshman year of college was Pineapple with Nic D.
Dude, it was huge.
Dude, it was
huge.
crazy. It was crazy. Be number 1 or number 2 on the viral charts. The beat probably max took like 15 minutes to make.
Really? Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Yeah. I was working at a little Christian label, and we signed like 3 artists. Henrik was like one of the first artists. He was making like the equivalent of like the Christian Juice WRLD.
The reason I said that is because you didn't sign a label. Connor's music was able to be put in that in the first place. Why don't you guys sign labels?
Can you hear us? Do you want to turn it up or turn down or anything like that?
I'm good, man.
You're good?
Perfect. Let's go.
Awesome.
All right, welcome back to the Beyond the Spotlight podcast hosted by myself. My name is Jack.
And I'm Aiden.
Today we have Graham here with us. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, guys?
I got an intro for you here, Graham. Today's guest is Graham, a.k.a. 100 Graham, a producer and artist based out of Nashville, Tennessee. You've probably heard his work on tracks like Pineapple with Nic D or songs like Trendsetter, Spinning, and Violet with Connor Price. He also creates his own music, including his latest collaboration project with Henrik, or recently forming a band called Homebodies with his wife. Yeah. And next week, he's hitting the road with Connor Price for yet another tour. We can't wait to dive into your story today. Welcome to the podcast, Graham.
Let's do it, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey. How's it going today, man?
I'm good, man. Starting early. What about you guys?
Yeah, dude.
Good.
We're fired up. We're ready to go.
Let's go.
So let's start from the beginning. Where'd you grow up at? What was your upbringing like?
I'm originally from Dallas, so I moved here a little less than 2 years ago. And I don't know. I think I had like a pretty typical childhood.
Sure.
Played sports. Went to public school for a good bit of my life. Went to private school through high school. But yeah, man, music really wasn't my passion growing up. I just wanted to play sports and stuff. I didn't really find it till like later high school or something like that.
You're a hooper, right?
Yeah. So I played basketball. I played baseball growing up. That's what I thought was going to be my thing. And then as I sort of discovered basketball, the more I played basketball, the less I liked baseball.
Sure.
And then I ended up playing a year in college playing basketball.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to a small school in Oklahoma called Oklahoma Baptist.
Okay.
It was a little D2 school. And so I went there. I played 1 year. And then kind of that was like the same time some of the music stuff started to work out. So ended up dropping that and I still finished. I got my degree there, but.
So at the time, what were you going for? What'd you get your degree in then?
So I got my degree in marketing. I
Perfect.
knew I wanted to be. Yeah.
That was good.
I like to think maybe some of it transferred over. I knew I wanted, when I entered college, I knew I wanted to be in music, but I didn't think I was actually going to be making music. I thought it was going to be more like business stuff. So I just got like a marketing business degree.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you go to that college because of basketball? Like they kind of recruited you, or was it more like you hopped on the team?
A little bit of both. My family has like all gone there, so I was already looking at it. But yeah, I was down between either going to Baylor to just like go to school, or I was gonna go there and play basketball. And so I did end up getting recruited. I had like a preferred walk-on. So it like worked out. Like even if I didn't play, I was still thinking about going to school there.
Sure.
What was that point that you just knew that music just kind of, when did that start for you, I guess?
It started for me like late high school, just like for fun, man. Like I honestly, I didn't know people did it as a career. It was really like a video game substitute. It's like the best way I can say it is like I had the little iPhone app. I was like making beats on my phone. Yeah. And then like was like, oh, okay, I can do this on a computer, and kind of slowly upgraded it. But no, it really wasn't until like my freshman year of college that I like saw enough success that I was like, maybe I could do this as like a job. So yeah, it started like late high school, but I was just like having fun messing around and stuff.
That's crazy because like it's probably better that way where you go into it not thinking it's going to be your career. Because if you go into it just like for the money and thinking about it a different way, you might not have ended up coming here. But when did that first like kind of big break happen for you? Was that early in college then?
First big break was my freshman year of college was Pineapple with Nic D, which was like his first like really big song. It was my first song as a producer that had some traction.
Dude, it
And
was
so-
huge.
Dude, it was
huge.
crazy. It was crazy. I was at a summer camp that summer. Summer camp that summer, of course. So like I didn't have my phone. I was like a counselor.
Sure.
And so I didn't even have my phone. And so I had like an off day. I get my phone back and it's like going crazy.
Wow.
I was like, wait, what is going on? And so I'm like trying to call everybody. And my girlfriend, my wife now, she was like keeping track of it and like letting me know. So it
60
was
million
crazy.
streams, right? Something
Dude,
like that.
it was crazy. Yeah, it hit. It was like maybe number 1 or number 2 on the viral charts, and that opened a lot of doors. I met a lot of new artists through that.
Sure.
And then also that song was like big enough that like, you know, producers don't make a huge chunk of the money, but that was like the song did big enough that I saw enough that I was like, oh, maybe like, you know, if I did this again, maybe a couple more times, like I could see this like being a job.
Sure.
So that was like when I was kind of like, all right, I'm gonna take this a little bit more serious.
So
what-
before that, was that one of your first, or were there other ones that you did before Nic D's?
Yeah, I had been doing it, I guess 2 years before that song came out.
Okay.
I was doing a lot of stuff like in like Christian hip hop. I don't know if y'all listen to sort of that genre. And so that was like, that's all I listened to through high school and middle school. So that was like what I wanted to try to like produce and sort of be in that space. So I was like working with like some smaller artists, and I was like, you know, sending people beats on like SoundCloud and like hustling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that was like the first one to kind of do something.
Awesome.
And then from there, what some of the next bigger songs that came out? Actually, I want to talk a little bit more on Pineapple because that
Go
was
for
just
it.
such a wild.
Yeah.
What was the creative process of that? And also, did you know that was going to be like a big song when you got done with it? You're like, wow, this is a banger, or
No, I had no
No?
idea. I liked the song. I didn't think it was bad, but I had
Yeah.
no idea. Which is usually how it goes. Like,
Okay.
you really never know. The creative process, this was, I think, the second song me and Nick ever made together, which is also
Dang.
crazy. I like
crazy.
sent him a beat pack. If you know anything about Nick, he makes so much music and he works super fast. So like the first time I ever sent him beats, I sent like 15 beats, and within a week I had like 10 songs back. Like
Wow.
he just rolls. Yeah, there were so many songs, and then he just happened to put that one out. But yeah, dude, it was crazy, and it came out in January of that year,
Right.
And it didn't really have any traction until like June.
TikTok,
So,
right?
Yeah. It took a little bit to kind of get it moving. But yeah, the creative process was like I literally just made a beat, just texted it to him, and that's what happened. So.
Can you break down the production of that though? Like, what does that look like? Do you start out with just like the drums and then you
Sure.
add in treble, or what's the process of that?
So on that one, it started with the melody. I had a guitar loop from these 2 other producers who had made this guitar section. So I took that, and then I ended up adding drums, and it was a really simple beat. Like, it really didn't have a lot going on. It was like minimal amount of sounds. So that's what it was. It started with this guitar. I put the drums on it, kind of arranged it, and then ended up sending it to him. Like, the beat probably max took like 15 minutes to make.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
That's
Which is
crazy.
like a lot of times the ones that you keep simple, like they end up doing the
Sure.
best, and it gives like a lot of times producers like overcomplicate it. They want to like pack it in, but like
Yeah.
you got to leave some room for kind of the vocals to do its thing. So yeah, that's how it went.
That's cool.
So then after that song, then let's go into some other songs that kind of did well for you.
Sure. So after Pineapple, Nick had a little run with a song called Icy Pop.
Yeah, banger.
Yeah. He had a song called Serotonin. And there were like a few other ones, but those 2 I think both went to the viral charts. And then through Nick, I met Connor Price, and me and Connor, maybe like a year into working, had his like 2 big songs of Violet, Spinnin'. And then I think next was maybe like Trendsetter.
Yeah.
So, and then around that time I started putting out my own stuff too, and so I had some things there. But yeah, it was really Nick, Connor, and then as of like the last year has been Henrik, who I started working with.
Mm-hmm.
And he had some like crazy songs that blew up. So yeah, dude, it's like you never know. You just
Yeah.
keep making
Yeah.
music, and maybe one day it happens, I guess.
Right. I am curious, how do you meet these people? How did you meet Connor? How did you meet Nick?
Yeah. I mean, it's different everybody. Nick, I think I literally just DM'd on Instagram.
So he was already grown kind of far already, like on TikTok maybe?
No, well, he was kind of like getting into the
Okay,
TikTok.
sure.
I think as far as like monthly listeners, he probably had like 70,000. So he hadn't really had his break. So I just like DM'd on Instagram, and he was like small enough that like he could like answer the DMs, I guess.
Sure.
And then through him and Connor became really good friends on TikTok through TikTok, and so Nick introduced me to Connor, and so that's how I met Connor. Henrik I've known for like 5 years. Before kind of all this stuff was working, I was like A&Ring. I was working at a little Christian label, and we signed like 3 artists in like the first year, and Henrik was like one of the first artists. He was making like, now he makes like folk pop type of music. Back then he was making like the equivalent of like the Christian Juice World. And so it was like, it was almost like punk. It was totally different.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and none of us were where we were like now. So it was like, you know, me and a bunch of guys, and also like Cooper Hill, who writes a lot of Henrik's stuff. He was a part of that group. So yeah, I met Henrik like 5 years ago or something like that. But it really, like, the relationship didn't really come to fruition until like, you know, the last year and a half, as far as the music started doing well, and now we both live in Nashville and stuff like that.
I'm sure it's so fun to see you and all your boys just like growing together. Like,
Dude,
that's
it's
so
awesome.
cool.
It's literally so fun. Like,
Yeah.
I work with, I mean, honestly, I work with like 3 people. Like,
Wow.
and I have like everything I need like 10 minutes from my house. I have like Coop's an incredible songwriter. Henrik's like crushing his thing with the artist. So it's so fun because it's like we're all doing this together. Nobody's signed any label deals. Me, Nick, Connor, Henrik. So we're all just like doing it on our own and having fun. So it's literally been so cool.
I want to touch on that, and also like how we got here in the first place. Do you know who the C-Boys are? Have you
Yeah,
ever
that
heard of
sounds familiar.
So they're from Cormorant, which is pretty close to us. I heard Connor's song "Spinnin'" and "Trendsetter" from their videos like years ago.
Okay.
Then that's where I got to Minneapolis. You guys had a show there.
Yeah.
I came, and I didn't know of you before that. I had heard your producer tag, of course.
Sure.
And then, like, dude, just fell in love with your music when you were there. It was so fun.
Appreciate it.
And then DM'd Graham, and that's how we're here. So,
Yeah,
first of all, thank you for coming on again,
Dude, no,
obviously.
thank y'all for making the trip.
And then the reason I said is because you didn't sign a label. You guys don't have labels, and Connor's music was able to be put in that in the first place. Why don't you guys sign labels?
You know, I break it down to 2 things. Is one, I don't think we're huge believers that it's worth it, to be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't really know how label deals work, but you know, like a normal label deal is like an 80-20 split in the favor of the label. So
Really?
Artists are like not, they're going to give you a lot of money up front. You know, they'll give you a couple $100,000, but
Like a sign-on bonus kind of?
yeah, but you have to pay them back. It's basically, it really is, it's a really awful loan.
Wow.
And you know, they provide some support and things, so it's not like a loan. You're getting some
Marketing.
some advantages, marketing and things. But you know, I think me and the guys' view is it's really not worth it for the amount of money that I'm gonna have to give y'all. It's really not worth what you're bringing. And then the second thing is, you know, there's certain things that labels do like really well. And I think if you are, you know, a really major artist, there's some things that labels can kind of help out, you know, by funding touring and things like that. But, you know, me and the guys' goals is we're not all trying to be, you know, Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift. We're really like, we all live really like normal, calm lifestyles. This is just like what we like to do, and it's our job. So, you know, we don't really have the aspirations of like, I gotta like be the biggest. I have to keep getting bigger. It's like, I'm very content with where I am. And so I think that's also like another reason why a lot of us didn't like go the label route.
That's awesome.
And you guys are still growing. Like,
Yeah.
you say, like, we're just living that normal life and you don't want to be like, I don't know, let's just say Justin Bieber. But you guys are growing a lot. And I love to see it. And honestly, when I started watching your guys' music, or listening, not watching, listening to your guys' music, it's a different style that I enjoy because it's not just that hard, or it's not that dirty rap, or
Sure.
It's not aggressive.
right? It's not too aggressive, but it's
Yeah.
good rapping, and there's not too many swear words. Like, it's appropriate to put in a music video or behind a montage of something. You know,
sure.
it's great music to listen to. But what I want to know And you don't have to break down like the numbers necessarily, but how does producing like work with you post something on Spotify and let's say it was for Nic D. You are the producer, so how does like the money work there? Like,
Yeah.
is it like a split between you guys, or how does that work?
Yeah, the simplest way I can say it is there's two sides to every song. There is the money that's made by streaming, your Spotify, your Apple Music, your iTunes, and then there's a second side called publishing, and that's the money you make through like radio, movie placements, like commercial placements, things like that. Producers get around 3 to 5% of the streaming, so your Spotify income, and then producers get 50% of the publishing. So,
Okay.
your radio, things like that. So, it really, you never know. Like, I mean, a song that does really well, like that 5% ends up adding up.
Sure.
But I've also had songs that like I made way more with that 50%
On the
than
publishing side.
yeah, than I did with the
Gotcha.
5. So it's kind of every song's a little bit different. But yeah, that's how the splits sort of work.
So I'm sure a lot of people could like kind of just see why, but in your opinion, why not cuss in your music? Why don't you cuss in your music? Is there a reason behind it?
I personally, a couple reasons.
Yeah.
I don't cuss in the music as like a moral religious thing. I mean, I'm a Christian guy. I never have like grown up cussing. Like that was never something in my vocab. And it's honestly just something that I think, I mean, as far as like a Christian standpoint, it's like one of the few things in the world you can use to like kind of set yourself apart. That
Yeah.
you don't always have to be running around with a sign telling people about Jesus and things. Like
Right.
the little things in your life that are different than everybody else's that raises raises some attention. So that's one thing. That's the main reason. But then also like I think it's like super beneficial to not cuss. Like I really don't see any benefit to cussing.
Yeah.
In your music, but there are a lot of benefits to not cussing. Your fan base is automatically like way bigger. Like I don't know. I mean, you came to a show. I don't remember if you noticed, but it's like a ton of kids.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Tons of kids. Lots of families, and that's like the one thing that like every dad, every mom says in meet and greets. They're all like, "Thank you so much for giving us music that we can play in the house." And you can shuffle music, and you're not scared that like
Right.
the next song's gonna be like viral.
Right.
So there's a lot, and like for YouTube videos, commercials, movie placements, like they can't put swear words in a tax commercial or whatever. So we've seen like a lot of success there now as far as Connor's music is. He's getting a lot of these like commercial placements and like songs that are getting on ESPN and things because it's like they're clean songs. They don't take a lot of editing. They just put them out. So those are kind of the two big reasons. But yeah, man, there's so much upside to not cussing in your music.
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody doesn't like shoot to not.
Sure.
Right. How has faith played a role in your life?
I mean a huge. I would like to think the center of every single decision that sort of happens. I grew up in a Christian household. I started believing when I was really young. And I have my ups and downs and things. But ultimately that's that's the root of every decision and sort of how I think. So I mean I don't have like a specific example because I really do think it like impacts every area of my life, I guess.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I see that same thing in everything that we try and do too. And like you say, everybody falls short, but
Sure.
yeah, kind of grew up
Yeah,
the
man.
same way too.
One
Cool.
thing we are trying to do too, and I've mentioned this on other podcasts, but Jack and I are trying to incorporate that to podcasts, is asking people how faith what that has involved in their life, so then it
Yeah.
can get put out onto our podcast and people can learn about it. And some
Yeah.
people don't grow up in a religious household, so how can they learn about God?
Yeah.
But
So as far as the strategy behind growing it, because you don't have a label to market you would say social media has been your biggest thing that's helped push your music?
Oh yeah, like no doubt. TikTok, Instagram. I mean, literally, like that's also a big reason. And we don't really believe in the whole label thing. It's because the label is literally going to take your money and then they're gonna tell you go post TikToks. Like that's
you're
what
gonna-
it is. Like
yeah.
TikTok is the single like biggest driver
Sure.
of music success. and I don't need somebody to tell me to make TikToks. You know, like I'll keep my split and I'll just go make my own. So yeah, TikTok, like that app alone has changed everything for every single one of us. And it's like you never know. You just post a video, and next thing you know, like everything's completely different.
And you
That's
kind of hit it
awesome.
at the right time in COVID too, like when you guys all kind of blew up.
Yeah, like I mean, definitely. I started my artist thing a little later, but like Nick, Connor, I think we're right in that sweet spot of like there weren't a lot of like people trying to promote music, and now like there's so many people. You know, I think people kind of get sick of like another artist promoting, but like, but they're also great at content. They did it in a very innovative, like creative and like entertaining way. But
Sure.
but yeah, like every day that goes by, it does feel like it's a little harder to kind of break through.
Looking for the best live food, drink, and event specials near you? I know I am. Meet Appy Hour, the ultimate way to find out what's going on around town.
From live happy hours and Taco Tuesdays to Wine Wednesdays, bottomless mimosa brunches, and more, Appy Hour has it all.
It's not just happy hour, every hour is Appy Hour. Appy Hour will send you a notification of what's going on so you can find all the greatest deals near you. And the best part, it's a free download with no login required.
Now available in Tampa Bay, Sarasota, St. Pete, Denver, Louisville, and Iowa City, with more cities coming soon. Comment below where you want to get Appy.
Thank you, Appy Hour. Gotcha.
You mentioned that you don't have a label. Do you ever have label, I don't know, would it be companies that offer
out.
you things?
I stopped taking calls. When
Okay.
I first kind of got some traction on my own stuff, I took like every call. I mean, I think among all of us that have been doing this, I mean, we've probably talked to every single label that is out there.
Really?
And yeah, after a certain point when I really realized I was like, I don't actually have any interest in signing, I just stopped taking calls.
Sure.
And you know, a lot of the calls are the same. It's like everybody says the same things. Everybody's, oh, tell me your backstory. It's like it's all kind of the same like shallow conversation.
Sure.
And I really wasn't entertaining it from the jump, so it was like I don't even need to be on the calls.
So, how'd you get the name 100 Gram?
So it actually happened through another producer. I had a name prior that I'm not gonna share because I'm a little embarrassed of it.
Dang.
And I made this song with this producer who at the time I was sort of looking up to. And he was just like very blunt. He was like, you got to change your name. He was like, it's not good. And so, you know, at the time I was like, oh, okay, whatever you say, bro. And it ended up being like perfect. He was like, my real name's Graham. So he was like 100 gram. Like, it was like, I don't know, a little wordplay. And so I was like, all right, I'm doing it. And like, I actually like paid him like, I think $100. He like made all the producer tags for me. And then, yeah, just rolled with it. So
I was going to ask you, because some of your songs you have the full name 100 Gram, and some of them it's 100.
Sure.
Like, what's the strategy behind that, or is it just you just pick a random one?
So a lot of it's like the BPM of the song. The one that's actually says 100 gram is at 125 BPM. So like if the song is a lot faster than that, then like when you speed it up, it's like 100, like it's like really fast.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then same if the song's too slow, it's like really slow. So if it's within like that 120 to 130 range, I always use that one. But then other than that, the other one is just like quick. I can put it in any song and it works. So that's the
Sure.
reason.
When you are producing and you send people music, right? Is that how that works? You
Yeah,
first
yeah.
send the music, then they come up with a melody, or do you kind of have the melody?
You know, it's always different, but usually when I'm producing, I'm sending somebody a beat and I'm not really touching the writing. Like
Okay.
most of the Nick songs, I'm not touching the writing.
Sure.
He might ask me like, oh, do you have like a melody idea for this section? And I'll give him one. And then Connor, I literally don't touch, I think, any of it. He writes everything. And then for Henrik, we do almost everything in the room as far as like Henrik comes over to my place, Coop comes over too, and we all like sit down there
Oh, wow.
and we start the song and make it all then. And so those songs, I'm a lot more a part of the writing,
Sure.
being in the room, and then Coop writes a lot of it with Henrik. So yeah, it's different, but you know, for Connor and Nick, I'm usually sending beats, and then for Henrik's usually coming to me, and we're just making it that day.
Do they ever send it back and you just add other noises here and there?
Yeah, usually we call it post production.
Okay.
And so I'll send the beat, Nick, Connor, they'll do their thing, and then they'll send it back to me, and you know, that's when we kind of add like some of the beat cuts and like, weird sound effects, or maybe add more, take out production, kind of just make it right.
So are you in person with Connor usually, or is that always kind of sending it over the text and then he sends it back? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm almost never in person with Connor, only a few times. But he lives like 15 minutes from me. So we could, but we end up just, his schedules work out better. I just text him beats.
Sure.
And that was our workflow when we didn't live by each other. And so it's just kind of stayed like that.
Just curious, do you ever just hang out with them, not work?
Oh yeah. I mean, definitely. Now, I mean, I probably hang out with Connor more than I actually work with him now. Just with his family being here now. So they just moved here. So now like we go over there maybe like once a week and just hang out with him. And we don't even like make music. We're just chilling. Nick lives in Virginia, so I don't see him as much. So usually when he's in town, like we hang out, or if I go to him, we hang out, but also like I'm only there for a couple days. So we're usually making stuff. And then Henrik and Coop, they have a house. It's Henrik, Coop, a guy named Swayze who makes music, and then another artist named Gio who makes music. They're all four of them make music together.
That's sick. All in one house.
And so like, yeah, they got like the little hype house. So like I hang out with those two guys a lot. Well, really all four of them, but mostly Henrik, Coop, Swayze. And we'll like top golf, and we do all the normal like hanging out stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What have some of your favorite tracks been with you and Connor and Nick?
Man, we have made so many. It's so hard to choose. Nick, there's a song called Upsides. I don't know if y'all have ever heard that. Never really had like a viral moment, but was like one of the songs that we made and just loved it. Another Nick one is Minefield. Same thing. It did really well, but never really went viral. For Connor, the Spin the Globe stuff's really special. I really liked the music, but also just with the success that those songs had. So Spinning, Violet. A weird one that I really love is Straight A's.
Yeah, that's a banger.
Like, and on tour, that song like goes crazy. And
how did you come up with like that different sound? Because you don't hear that noise very often, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know if I found it or if a lot of times Connor makes music backwards, where he has a content idea and then he makes the song to fill that. Yeah. So
interesting.
Like that was actually, I think Violet was, or Spinning, which has like that flute, that he made the content around how it was a carrot flute. Yeah. So he like knew in his mind he wanted to do that carrot flute. I think that's how it went. And so his brother Christian like played the flute out and then did it. So a lot of times we make music backwards, where he'll be like, yo, I need a bag. I have an idea for like a bagpipe song. So like go make a beat with a bagpipe. So I think that might have been how Straight A's went. It was like, we need like a xylophone or something kind of melody. And so like I went and found like some type of xylophone I liked, and then we made it.
Sure. Yeah, I do find a lot of your music is so unique. Like there's not just a normal beat, same as a lot of other songs. There's something different every single music.
Sure.
So is that just finding it on your own, and just I'm sure you have like a system or a program.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do think the catalog as a whole for really all of us is very like diverse.
Okay.
And yeah, I love like really all types of music, and there's like certain types of music that I know I'm not very good at, but like I really like making pop. I like making kind of that hip hop crossover stuff, and then I like making like singer songwriter folk stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of artists, and I think they, the marketing strategy is keep kind of stay in your lane. But I drop so much music that I'm like, if I stayed in my lane, y'all would hear the same song for 2 years straight. So it's also like way more fun for me to like get to do whatever I want. So I have like a goal to try not to make back-to-back songs in the same genre.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So if I drop a folk song, the next one's got to be like hip hop, R&B type of thing.
I was just gonna ask you what genre you would say you are, because you have some songs that have absolutely no drums, and then some that are bumping.
Yeah.
Like songs like Silhouettes, dude. Like that's like such a specific song that's so different. you know what I mean, than
Yeah,
others.
yeah.
So I was gonna ask you, but you would say you wouldn't fit into a specific genre?
I mean, I think it's kind of all over. I usually just say pop because I think that's
Okay.
like I don't make like straight hip hop music. If I make hip hop, it is melodic. It has sort of like pop elements, and then if I make folk music, it's also not like straight folk. It's kind of pop. So I just say pop, but it is kind of all over the place.
So since everybody wants to know, going back to the question before about my favorite song, it's HOV remix with you, Connor,
Okay.
and Nick.
Yeah.
Do you guys plan to make more songs with all three of you together?
I'm not sure. I know Nick and Connor have some stuff in the works with each other that they're working on. So maybe I'll be a part of that. I mean, I think I'll produce a good bit of those songs, hopefully. But I don't know. We haven't worked or talked about any other three people songs, but I'd be down. They're really fun. I love making them. I love promoting them, and then also like in the shows and in concert, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Did the show you came to? Did it have all three of us?
Nope, Nick wasn't there.
Ah, dang.
That was your first show, your guys' first show.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your guys' songs are like usually around 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30 seconds, a little bit
Yeah,
shorter.
really short.
Yeah. What is the strategy behind that? Because I feel like songs have just in the last 20 years, it's like 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3, now closer to 2. What's the strategy behind that?
I think the main strategy is replay value. You know, if I'm gonna make a 4-minute song, I'll make a 2-minute song and you listen to it twice.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, you know, even when you're making a 4-minute song, it really could be. A lot of times, it could be a 2-minute song.
Sure.
You know, you're doing your
It's
verse.
the same lyrics.
Yeah, it's the same. You know, we're just gonna add another verse and then we're gonna do the chorus 2 more times at the end. It's like it's not always necessary. I also think like attention spans are so much shorter now. You know, we're all getting fried on TikTok and stuff. So it's just like I don't do long intros for any songs. Like, I mean, a good chunk of my songs, once you hit play, like the lyrics start immediately.
Right.
And it's just like if somebody is, you know, scrolling through Spotify, happens to come across your song and you got a 10-minute or 10-second intro, like a lot of times people nowadays, they're like, I'm
Skip
skipping.
it.
Yeah. So keeping it short, would rather have you play it twice than I guess play it once is kind of the idea.
Do you ever get recognized?
Yeah, a little bit. I would say like if I go out to like a really public place, there's like maybe like a 20% chance, something like that. So if I go to like a mall, which is always really cool. It happens enough to be cool,
But not too
but
much
not
to
enough
get
to like get annoying.
Sure.
And it also doesn't happen enough that it like every time it's always like surprising. Like it's
Sure.
always like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Because it, you know, it never really like sets in that. I mean, like you see the numbers and you're like, oh, that's cool. Like this many people follow me. But like when you actually see people or talk to people in real life, like it kind of sets in different. So
I'm
yeah,
sure that feels pretty good too.
yeah,
getting recognized.
it's really cool. And I love talking to people. Like especially one of my favorite parts of tour is like getting to talk with fans and you know, kind of make those connections. So it happens every once in a while, and every time I'm always like, it never ceases to like not be cool. Like it's always like, that's crazy. Like these people actually like know me or like saw me and like decided to come say things.
That's pretty sweet.
But
And
then
I'm
there's
sure
also like there's a lot of times where people like I'll like kind of notice somebody like knows me, but then they like won't say anything, and I'm like, I'm friendly, like you can come say hi, man.
or like
So-
they're like recording you like, to the side or whatever.
Sure.
Oh, that's funny.
Do you ever go to, well, maybe not quite this yet, but do you ever go somewhere and you're hearing your own music? Someone else playing it?
Yeah, I think it's happened a few times. Definitely when Pineapple was doing well, it had like a radio run, so it was on a lot of like, kind of like those, like you walk into like a Macy's and it would be on like that radio. So
That's sweet.
there were like some stores I would walk in, and for a time, and still now, like I get a lot of my friends will text me a video every time they walk in a store and hear something I'm doing. The first really cool one for me was when Pineapple was doing well. Me and my wife went to her like neighborhood pool, and there was like a group of people, and on the speaker they were playing Pineapple, and so we like walked by the pool, and that was like the first time I ever heard anything I had made in public, and so that was like really cool.
And you made that.
Like
Like,
yeah, it was really cool to like actually see that it was like getting out there and like real people are listening to it.
That is really cool.
People probably don't see your face though when they see that song because the producer, they just don't see the face of the producer.
Sure.
So did you say anything?
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay.
No,
guys,
no.
by the way, I produced that song.
I didn't want to be that guy, but yeah, it was really cool.
So
that is awesome.
Going back to tour last year, what were some of your favorite moments of tour?
Dude, tour was awesome. This was my first time ever doing it. So the first couple shows, like I was so nervous, but after like show 3, it's kind of ends up being a breeze. You're doing the same thing kind of every show.
Sure.
I had no idea what to expect. Like bus life was crazy. It was like super fun because we had a good group. It's like a giant sleepover for a month, but at the same time, like you don't have a bed for a month. You don't have like a real bathroom. So there are some stuff that kind of gets like annoying. And it's not really the most convenient life, but it is fun. But dude, the shows were awesome. Like every city was honestly like really great. To be an opener and, people aren't necessarily coming there for me. They're coming for Connor. It's like our music is close enough. And I think the fan base is aligned enough that like, there were certain shows. We did a Salt Lake show and it was like insane that like I got up there and I was like, everybody I looked at like knew the words to my song. And it like literally felt like it was my show. So
That's
it's
so
like,
cool.
it's cool that the fan bases overlap enough that like, there's not a lot of people who are coming to see me that also don't know who Connor is. So it's like, it was awesome, dude. I had so much fun. It was
Do you
great.
get nervous before it?
I did for like a couple shows. And then after that, you kind of
Just go out and have fun.
Yeah. And that was like one of the big things Connor really helped me out with is he was like, you just have to have fun like for yourself. Like if you go up there and you're worried about like how people are reacting and people aren't singing, people don't seem like entertained enough, it's like it's draining. And it's like really like once you decide that you're like, I'm just gonna go up there, I'm gonna do whatever, and if I look stupid it doesn't matter, but like I'm gonna go have fun, like it ends up being great. You also realize that like people really don't notice mistakes. That was also something that I think both of us were like, oh, especially him, because he has like, those raps and they're like super fast and a lot of lyrics. And I think when he first kind of was doing it, he was a little like, oh, I don't want to mess up. And I think you realize, you're trying to do the best you can, but you're also like, I could miss a word, I could miss notes. Nobody's going to notice. Like,
right.
Honestly, like just have fun. People are just there for your character. They just like want to see you have fun. They want to be entertained. They don't really care, if you're hitting every note properly or whatever.
So,
Sorry.
I was going to say, when you look out into the crowd, you notice people that are singing your lyrics and stuff? Like, you can see that? Because I don't know if all
definitely.
artists do that or not. I was just curious.
No, definitely. After show 2, it's like muscle memory as far as like the talking parts. And I know my music well enough that like, when I'm singing my music, I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like it's, when I'm singing and performing, I'm looking out at the crowd and like noticing people, and that's sort of what's going through my mind. Because the music is sort of second nature. So yeah, like I'm looking around and I'm like, oh, okay, and I'll try to like point at people or whatever and stuff. Yeah. And then the opposite. You see people that look they just like look bored. So
yeah.
But yeah, depending on the lighting, I can usually always see like the first 4 rows.
Sure.
That's sweet.
And then hopefully I can see more.
You sing so many of your own songs. Do you ever get sick of any?
I really like my own music. Like I listen to myself a good bit. Like just being honest. Like I really enjoy what I make, and I'm not afraid to hear my voice. Like I've gotten comfortable listening to myself. There's definitely there's 1-2 songs out of, I think I've dropped 66 songs, and there's 2 that like if I could go back, I would probably not put them out. But other than like those 2, like I really even like, I can notice that the music I'm making now is a lot better than, the music I made when I start. But like even my first 2-3 songs, like I really like those songs. I'm still proud of those songs. So I really don't get like sick of my music. I mean, I don't like listen to it like 24/7. I don't really listen to a lot of music to begin, but like, When I'm in the car, I'll put myself on and
That's cool. Like you could be with friends and you could just be listening to your own music on the radio. I think that's so cool.
Sure.
Could you name the one or two that you wish you went to put out?
Yeah, I would take off Rooftop. I don't know if you ever heard that one.
I'm pretty sure I have Rooftop.
It was like maybe the 3rd song I ever put out. And then there's one song called Point of View. That was also like really old.
That's a
Really?
banger. I'm pretty sure the name of it. I'm pretty sure because I think I sent it to you. I was like top 1,000 listeners. I was trying to get off of listening to the dirty rap, like stop listening to it. So I just would click play on your name and Connor and everybody else, and it's like it just like goes through all of them. So I don't see the names, but then like anyways.
Yeah, no, Rooftop is like definitely like I would scratch that song.
Dang,
Point of View is like there's sections of the song that I really like, and then there's sections of the song I really don't like.
Okay.
But yeah, like 2 for 65 is good. It's good in my eyes.
Out
I'm
of those
cool with it.
65, then what's your favorite
Oh man.
or top 3?
The most special song to me, I have a song called "Wait My Turn," which is about my
Banger.
wife. It's about she's still the only person I ever dated. So like my first relationship, we got married. So I wrote a song about that, and that's like my favorite writing, one of my favorite songs. But then outside of that, dude, it changes like every week. Like usually it's the song I made the day before. I think it's like the best song I've ever made. And then also like we were talking, the songs you think are gonna do well, like a lot of times they don't do well. And then the ones you're like, it's solid. Like that's the one that goes. So
Sure.
you really just never know.
Huge thank you to today's sponsor, Giant Snacks. Giants is a small family-owned business that specializes in premium flavor and giant snack sizes.
From sunflower seeds and pistachios, pumpkin seeds and cashews, Giants has all the great snacks you need.
Don't forget some of the great flavors that they offer, from dill pickle to sweet Thai chili.
Or whatever flavor you're craving.
Check out the newest flavor that just arrived in stores.
Big Easy cashews and Big Easy sunflower seeds.
Available now online or in a store near you. Huge thank you to Giant Snacks for sponsoring this podcast.
Now let's get back to the podcast.
Looking for the best live food, drink, and event specials near you? I know I am. Meet Appy Hour, the ultimate way to find out what's going on around town.
From live happy hours and Taco Tuesdays to Wine Wednesdays, bottomless mimosa brunches, and more, Appy Hour has it all.
It's not just happy hour, every hour is Appy Hour. Appy Hour will send you a notification of what's going on so you can find all the greatest deals near you. And the best part, it's a free download with no login required.
Now available in Tampa Bay, Sarasota, St. Pete, Denver, Louisville, and Iowa City, with more cities coming soon. Comment below where you want to get appy.
Thank you, Appy Hour. So with your upcoming tour, what are some of the places you're most excited to go to, or just things about tour that you're excited to come back to?
Yeah, places. I'm really excited to go back to Salt Lake. Last time was my first time in Salt Lake City, and I really loved the city. Like the city was. Have y'all ever been?
Mm-mm.
The city was like so nice, so clean.
Sure.
But then also the fans in Salt Lake are like great, and like we crush in Salt Lake as far as we're doing 2 nights there. It just like the fan base just like makes sense. Like a lot of the people out there listen to our music, and the crowd's good. So that's gonna be a fun show. I love like Montreal, Canada.
Oh, sure.
We did that on the last tour, and as far as like the city was super cool. So would love to see that again. And then this year, like the really only big difference is we're adding like a bunch of sort of smaller markets. So we're doing like Kentucky, like Kansas, Missouri, 3 in Florida. So we're adding like a lot. We're hitting most of the same cities except,
Yeah,
except
right.
Minneapolis.
You got 3 in Florida,
Or-
but none in Minneapolis.
Yeah,
man.
Fargo, that'd be cool.
Yeah, you guys should.
Fargo,
Sometime you
North
should come to
Dakota.
Fargo.
That would be
For
cool.
real,
That'd
like
be cool.
there's like the Shields Arena or the Fargo Dome. Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
guys
where
should
I'm
fill
from.
that up.
Okay, cool.
It's Fargo.
Keep that in mind next
Yeah,
time.
yeah. I'll put in a good word.
Perfect. Perfect.
So yeah, we're hitting some like smaller markets that like we didn't get to go to because like a lot of the Florida people who really wanted to come, they all came to like Atlanta.
Oh,
So like
sure.
now we're kind of getting to hit those people. And then we're also doing a Nashville show, which I think will be cool because kind of hometown, all my friends are here and stuff. So
Sure.
yeah, man, I'm just excited. We have like a great crew. Like we all get along really well. We're all friends. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Like I'm hyped.
And touching back on like, if you know one of you guys, you know all of you. Like if you're a fan of Connor, you're a fan of Nick and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
and Henrik and everybody else. So that should be a lot of fun, man. I
Dude,
couldn't
it's awesome.
imagine just like being on stage, like everyone's there to see you, and yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
awesome. And then I also DJ Connor's set,
Yeah.
which you saw. So like my set's fun, but even my set, like I have to like think a little bit. You know, I have to be a little bit more focused because I'm talking. Connor's set, like,
You just get to have fun.
dude, I'm just having fun. Like he does his thing, he has all the pressure, and I'm in the back just like,
Jamming.
yeah, just like having fun, dancing around, yelling out stuff. So like his set is so much fun, and like if I'm gonna be there for his set, like I would rather be on stage and have fun with him. So like that's also like I love being a part of his set and getting to DJ. And then we have 3 songs together, and so we'll like play the songs we have together during his set. So yeah, dude, it's fun. Like I love performing my stuff, but also like DJing Connor's set is honestly like more fun because I'm just like having a blast.
That does sound so fun, dude.
Yeah.
It is,
How
dude.
how does who schedules all this? Do you guys have like is it one of you guys who puts together the tour, or is it like a tour company? Or?
Yeah, so we have Connor has a booking agent who books the shows. He also for this tour partnered with a company who's like they put on sort of the tour. So those are the people who sort of like routed out like they booked the venues, they routed kind of the route. And then we have a tour manager who is like doing the day-to-day. His name's Alex. He's great. And so he's on the bus. He's day-to-day making sure we have food, making sure we get to the right places, you know,
Sure.
have our hotels checked in. So he's the one that carries kind of that load of making sure tour runs really smooth.
Sure.
Do other people go with you on tour, like friends?
Not really friends. We have, I mean, I think we have an eight people on the bus,
Okay.
and that's about as slim as it gets. So we don't really have like extra people. There will be people who like might pop in. Like Nick's doing maybe 3 shows this tour, so like when he's on, he'll get on the bus and he'll ride maybe. And then like Connor's wife, she might like pop in for a few shows. So we have some people that kind of come in and out, but it's like a core like eight people that are on the
Sure.
bus.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, if Connor and Graham are coming to a town near you, I'll put the link in the description
right.
for real. You guys got to go check it out. They're on
Let's do
tour right now after this gets released. So, all right. So we're gonna play a game. The rules are, I have 10 of your songs here. Either you've produced them or it's your music.
Okay.
I'm gonna play the first probably 2 seconds, but 2 to 3 seconds of it. And then you have 5 seconds to say the song title.
All right.
If you get 8 out of 10 or more, you win. 7 out of 10 or less, we win.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
what's that?
Silhouettes.
1 for 1.
All right.
Damn, that was
like a half
that
a
was
second.
half
One
a
for
second.
one.
Pop
for
it up
one.
on the screen.
Let's
Pop
go.
it up on the screen. All right. Number 2.
Counterfeit.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna time.
Yeah,
He's
don't even
just
time it.
gonna
Don't even
know.
time it. That's all right.
Back to basics.
That's actually probably my favorite one.
This
All right,
is
all right,
that's
all right, all right.
impressive, dude. What?
All right.
Wow, you might have got
Hold
me.
on, get the timer.
Oh,
I'm counting.
swordfish.
Oh, you got me. Yeah, sword.
I was probably close to that 5 seconds though. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, actually, you know what? We're gonna give that one to us.
All right. You can have it. You can have it. You can have it.
2 for 3. 2 for 3.
AMG overnight.
Oh, it's
All right,
over.
you get that one. You get that
Okay,
one. I messed
okay.
it
2
up.
for 4. 2 for 4. So you gotta go 100% the
All right,
rest
here
of
we
the
go.
way.
Here we go. Blue shell.
Yeah,
Yep.
blue
All
shell.
right. Not a beanie.
Mm-hmm. Dude, these are all bangers. By the way.
Yeah, I just want to
Let's
listen.
go.
Yeah. Hello.
Forgot to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
How'd you come up with the beginning of that song, or was it just random?
I don't even remember. I think I had the beat done, and that was like I think the last thing I added was just like the little. I don't even know why. It doesn't actually like help. Like it doesn't make sense to the song or anything. It was just
Right.
like all right, cool.
Well, when it starts and I hear that, I always got to say the hello right on point.
Yeah, hello.
All right, all right.
5 o'clock trap.
HOV.
Is that your one of your biggest songs?
It is.
Personally?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it never had like a moment. It was that was one of the few songs that I was like, this is the one. Like I loved that song. I thought it was gonna be huge, and it like never really took off on socials. But
Sure.
yeah, that if you combine that with the HOV remix, that's my biggest song by far.
Dude, absolute bangers. Okay, here we go. Next one.
Write Me In.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, now we got Tyler Hero. That was all 10.
All right.
Wow.
So what was that? You got 8 for 10, I think? So
8
you
for 10.
win.
All
Wow.
right, well, good game, guys.
That was way too easy for him.
And way too fast.
That
Dang
was
it,
like
dude.
you could 0.5 seconds. He could get some of that.
I didn't even play, bro. I played like a 1 second
Yeah.
max.
Sure. No, yeah, like I was saying, I do like unironically listen to a good bit of my music. So
Well, yeah, there you go. All right. Well, we got a couple more things that we want to talk about with you before we let you go.
All
What do you enjoy doing outside of music?
I still play a lot of basketball. I'm in like a men's league. I play like once a week. Recently I've picked up like volleyball, like really, really heavily. My wife played 4 years of college volleyball at the school we went to. That's where
Sure.
we met. And so she's like great. And I mean like volleyball, basketball kind of transfers over. You know, I'm tall, like jumping and stuff through basketball. So I was really bad when I started, but like now I like play a lot with her. And I think that's like, we probably do that like 2-3 nights a week now. So that's like probably my main hobby. Outside of that, like we just like watch TV. I'll hang out with the guys.
Sure.
I've gotten into golf, like when the weather's nice. Me and the guys probably play like, you know, once a week, maybe twice a week. And like none of us are really that good, but like we always have fun and we do it. So that's kind of my out of music life, I guess, doing that.
What is your work-life balance like? Like, are you working all the time?
No, wow. No, I'm not working all the time. Like a normal day, I think I probably work from like 10 to 4, 10 to 5 maybe. Of trying to just like do really dedicated work. But it really like every day is different. You know, like there's days that I'm working like 10, 12 hours because I'm like super behind. And then there's days that it's like I don't have anything that needs to be done. So I might, you know, do something else. And, you know, some days are like I got to make TikToks. Some days I got to make music. So it really is kind of different. But I try for the most part to be done by like dinner. And
Sure.
that way, like me and my wife can just like hang out and do whatever.
So if you got to have one collab with one artist, alive or dead, who would it be?
Oof. I would love to do like, I don't know, like I think the best song I could make would be like a Post Malone song, but I'd have to get him to like agree that he wasn't gonna say any cuss words.
Yeah.
But I think that would be
That'd be
dope.
tough.
I think that would like, I feel the most comfortable in the music I think I like to make the most is like where hip hop and pop meet, kind of that Silhouettes, Forgot to Breathe. So like I think like Post would be cool, or like Leroy or like something like that would be like the biggest song that I think would be really cool.
Sure. So for kids or high schoolers, college students that want to do the same kind of thing that you're doing, being a producer or an artist
Sure.
in general, what kind of advice would you have for them?
Honestly, just like go for it. Like it's never the safe option, but you like never know what's gonna happen. Although like there's a lot of competition, this is like the most accessible being a music artist has ever been.
Yeah.
That it's like no matter how frustrating like not, you know, having a lot of competition or not being able to go viral is, it's like I will take this music industry over, you know, having to go like sell CDs on the street. Like this is the best time we've ever seen to be a music artist. So yeah, just like go for it. I mean, I learned everything I know off YouTube. Like, you know, you don't really need to go to school to be a musician.
Yeah.
I don't even like, I can play guitar like good enough to produce, but like I'm not like a master at any instrument by far. So yeah, man, you just go for it and just, you know, put stuff out. It's also a good thing I always say, or I've heard, is that it's like it's always cringe until it works.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure y'all have maybe felt that with the podcast, but it's like it's always cringe, and people think it's cringe, but then it's like once you're successful and once, you know, for us it was like going on tour. For some reason that clicks in people's mind that like when you
made it,
tour,
kinda.
you've made it,
Yeah.
which is really funny. But yeah, it was like once we started touring, like I got a lot of texts from people that were like, dude, it's so good. Like not people that were like haters, but like, you know, people who like weren't really that interested, that like now it is. So yeah, dude, it's like be cringe. And like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
Especially when you're out of school. Like, I feel like there's kids that feel that pressure when they're in school and they see people that could judge them. But like when you're out of school, dude, you don't see them. It doesn't really matter.
dude, yeah.
Especially like the comments. Who cares what the comments say?
No.
It's for real.
You get used to it. I mean,
Yeah.
I really, I think you have. I mean, you have to be kind of tough skinned because you're gonna get a lot of crap on socials and things. And it's one of those things that it's like I would never recommend somebody make music like because they want to make money or like that's the job they want to make. And it's like, I'm one of the fortunate ones who ended up being able to do this as a career, but it's like, the majority of people aren't doing this full time.
Yeah, they got another job on.
Yeah,
hand or
it's like you
something.
really have to love it for what it is because, after year 2 and nothing's working out, like if you don't really love doing this, like you're not gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, just go for it.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, we just want to thank you. We flew all the way down to Nashville.
It's crazy.
For you,
So awesome.
and we've had people flake before, so that would have sucked. That really would
I
have
really
sucked.
tried hard, man. I like triple checked that calendar date. I was like, they cannot fly. And I have something that would be so bad.
We had a good title prepared just in case. Grant 100-gram flakes
Oh,
on us.
no.
And
No,
No,
but
seriously, thank you.
Yes, thank you for coming. It's also, dude, we listen to your music all the time. Like
Thanks, guys.
we do, and we listen to it in the shop, but when we're setting up, whatever it is. And for us to see you in person now and talk to you, not everyone does that. Not everyone is willing to do that and come on a podcast. It's not like we're super viral either, And so thank you for coming on.
Thank y'all. Y'all are killing it. That was, I mean, like you're saying, y'all aren't super viral, but I watched a good bit of the videos and I was like, y'all are good at what you're doing and you're working hard. Like you're putting out a lot of videos that I was like, yeah, dude, it's worth it. So,
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Y'all are crushing
Awesome.
it. So I'm excited to be here.
Sweet. Anything else?
No.
Well, make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button, and comment down below. Graham, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Giants, thank you for sponsoring. One thing that we do at the end of the show is we usually give out one bag of seeds to our guests, but we're going to give you all the seeds. I don't know how many we got. We got like 6 bags. We're just going to give them all to you. So,
Dude, I'll take it.
so yeah. Thank you guys for watching the Beyond the Spotlight podcast. Graham, where can they find your music at, and what's your socials?
Spotify, Apple, everything is under Graham, GRAHAM, all caps. Instagram is 100gram, 100gram. TikTok is gram.mp3. And yeah, so that's
Sweet.
pretty much it.
All right, we'll see you guys next week on Monday at 6 p.m.
Peace.
Peace. Let's go.